Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Jade Simone Podcast. Today, I have a very good friend of mine on board. He runs a $600,000 a month drop shipping website. He's won over $2 million in poker tournaments. He can DJ like a motherfucking boss. TG! Everybody, please welcome TG.
That's going to be on my hinge now.
I love that. So, welcome to the couch. You officially made it.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
So, to let everyone know, you just got back from Las Vegas.
Yep, just moved here.
Yeah, and it's been what, like 4 months since you got here?
Just over 3.
Just over, wow. Time is flying, but also not.
Yeah, it's going slow, I feel like.
It is well, when you say 3, it feels like it's been 5.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a whole year at this point. We've been doing a lot of shit.
We really have. We've had a good summer. We've been hosting some pool parties.
Yep.
Getting crazy in Tahoe.
Getting wild. We definitely had a fun-ass summer.
So, how did you end up picking Austin?
Well, I was out in Vegas, didn't have too many friends out there, and wanted to switch up. And then obviously Cole and Zach were both here, and those are 2 of my best buds.
Yeah.
So shout out Cole and Zach.
Shout out.
And Dean's out here too, and you guys were out here. So I was like, we got a little squad. I'm down to, and I didn't want to move back to Denver. I lived in Denver for like 6 years, and
that's where you're from, right?
No, I'm from Michigan originally.
Oh, how did I not? You probably told me that.
I definitely have told you that.
Yeah, you've definitely told me that.
Yeah, spent a while out in Colorado and wanted to change the pace. I'm a person that likes being in a lot of different places, so experiencing different cultures. So here we are in Texas.
I love that.
I love
it.
So
how was well, I guess before I go into that, you said you love Texas. What so far has been your favorite part of Texas?
I just like everyone's like super chill here. Everyone like around here too is super good looking, fit. Like it's very like inspiring, I guess, to be around. Like everyone seems like they're on their grind, but they know that have like a good time at the same time.
Totally. Like they have a good quality of life and they're like a work-life balance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
It feels like they have that dialed in here and the culture is cool. And
totally. And I know you go out on the trail a lot. Yep. And I like to too, and it's amazing how many people are out there all the time.
All the time, every day, tons of people. You see new people every single day.
Every day, and I don't know. So I've lived here for a while, on and off, but never really downtown that much. So I don't even know what that'll look like in the winter. Actually,
yeah.
Like, do people go still when it's cold, or?
We're about to find out.
We're about to find out.
I really don't know either. I haven't even been on the scene that much. Like, we went out a couple times, but really not that much. So.
You mean on the trail?
No, I'm saying like, you're saying on the trail. The trail
you're saying
will be interesting. I'm saying like downtown.
Oh, yeah. No, well, we haven't been going out as much as like, at least as much as I used to. I used to go out a lot.
Yeah, I haven't really explored the city too much, to be real, so far. So
it's about time.
We got to get some adventures in.
We definitely do. Okay, so something I find super fascinating about you is that you play poker and you play it well.
Yep. And
that's like something that pretty much, I mean, until I met you, I literally knew nobody who played poker professionally or who could actually win and sit at a table in a tournament and beat like 800 people. Yeah. If not more.
Yeah.
How did you get into that? Like, how did you discover you liked poker, and how did you discover you were good at it?
So I've always been good at games my entire life. Like, been running shit, Monopoly, Risk, everything. Like, I always won all the family games at Christmas. Like, people didn't even want to play sometimes because I'd always win.
No way.
So I'm really good at board games and stuff and strategic stuff. And I went maybe when I was like 5-6 years ago to a casino in New Mexico. And I was like, Dad, I really want to play poker right now. And he's like, do you got money to lose? I was like, I got a couple $100 I can lose right now. And I went and played, and I played for like maybe like 5 or 6 hours. And I ended up losing that couple $100, but had so much fun.
And that was your first time?
Yeah, that was my first time playing. Wow. And then I was like, this game is sick. And then I just started playing like low stakes online and just grinding it up. And literally within the first year, I was already playing high stakes. Like, I played a $5,000 tournament online, which is like super high stakes my very first year. And I was playing against like all the like professionals and stuff.
No way.
And just like kind of worked myself up and went on a bunch of crazy swings up and down, like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
But was having a blast doing it. I absolutely love it. Like, it's super like fascinating. And like, the crazy thing is, nobody has it figured out. Like, nobody plays perfect. Even the best people in the world never play perfect 100% of the time, and they make mistakes. So.
And is it also due to the fact that there's a lot of luck involved? Or do you think that there's
There's definitely a lot of luck involved no matter how you swing it, but even outside of that in your decision-making process, you still make mistakes all the time, even the best players in the world. And it's one of those things where you just always learn from your mistakes and get a little bit better for next time. So
yeah.
I just love that. And then obviously there's a huge thrill when there's a lot of money involved.
Yeah, I honestly can't imagine.
Yeah.
I lost like $50 at the table. I don't ever play by myself. Like I told you, I like standing behind somebody else and like cheering them on.
Yeah.
I like lost some money and I was like, I'm never playing this game. I like can't even imagine losing money.
Yeah, you definitely lose money a lot in poker tournaments, but those times you do win, it's like the craziest surreal high when you like win a big tournament.
I bet it's euphoric.
Oh, it's so euphoric, and then you're just like on a high for weeks.
Yeah, you've got to feel like the coolest guy on fucking earth. You're like, nobody could touch me.
Yeah. Until you go on a huge downswing, then you're like, fuck, I'll never win at this game again.
So what's the biggest amount you've ever won in one tournament?
I had a $135,000 score maybe like 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago. And that was my biggest score ever.
And was that in Vegas?
No, that was online.
No way.
Yeah, I actually had COVID. I've told this story a few times, but I literally had to take off work. I was sick with COVID. Made it to day 2. I'd played this tournament. It's called Ignition Millions, and I literally just like was playing on my phone and just playing all night, watching a movie on my phone, and just grinded it out and ended up beating like 2,000 people. It was a $500 buy-in, and
that's so fucking cool.
I won it for like $135K.
So, and sometimes I go into your office and you're playing like simultaneously. He'll play like 8 games at a time. Yeah. Is that how those tournaments are? Do you have to do that, or is that your choice?
Don't. Yeah, that's my choice, just because of the fact that in tournaments there's so much variance and luck involved. The more games you play, the more you're taking the luck factor out of it. Okay. So if you put in high volume, it becomes more of your overall strategy, versus if you're just playing one game, luck's involved more than if you're playing 12 games.
And are you still in that same tournament bracket, or you join like 8 different tournaments?
They're all different.
Okay, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Dang, and so what's the biggest amount you've lost in a tournament?
I played the main event. That was my biggest tournament that I ever played. $10,000 buy-in. The WSOP main event. Got knocked out at the end of day 1.
Fuck.
Yeah. The most I ever lost in a day though was like 20,000.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, well your wins are way higher in a day.
Yeah.
So that's at least
we're up
really
overall, but yeah, definitely some crazy swings involved.
Did you ever watch Molly's Game?
Yeah.
Is that like something that like fascinated you?
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Did you see she did an interview the other day? She did an interview on someone's podcast. I think it was, it's not Tales of a CEO, but it's something CEO. And this guy sits down with her, and it was fascinating to watch her talk about the experience. And then I also saw, I think I told you this the other day, but I saw this little clip of Dan Bilzerian, who he got kicked out of Molly's Game.
Yeah, he was in that game.
He was in that game
because you don't realize that in the movie.
No. Well, he wasn't. So Toby Maguire was the guy who was like player X, and it was finally confirmed, and he confirmed it. Dan did in someone else's podcast. He's like, I don't give a fuck. I'll tell you who it was.
That's so ridiculous, because people in the poker world think Dan Bilzerian's like a bad player. Like nobody thinks like he's a really good player that's a professional poker player. But if you're in a game, it's really just about being the best player at the table. You know what I mean? You don't have to be super great at poker if you're with a bunch of people that are bad at poker.
Totally. I heard that he plays games in Vegas where he would make sure he was at a table where he was the best player.
Yep.
Which is the whole reason he got kicked out of Molly's Game.
Yeah.
Because she was like, you're going to take everyone's money and it's bad for my business.
Yep, because then they all go broke and then you don't have a game anymore.
Yeah. And the fact that she watched someone lose $100 million in one day.
$100 million.
$100 million. She was saying that
those are high stakes.
High stakes. And she was saying that it was just awful watching these people who were addicted to it.
Yeah.
Would you say you're addicted to poker?
No, I don't think I am.
It doesn't seem like you are.
I have been at points, but definitely not right now.
Yeah, you don't seem like someone who's addicted to gambling.
Yeah. I just play once a week right now, really, unless we're playing those home games.
Yeah, we play a lot of those.
Yeah. Those I play too, but I just play on Sundays mainly.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So the other day you kind of briefly told me about how you had this journey where you were doing like an MLM thing for a while. You met a couple of your very best friends.
Yep.
And you had this whole like life journey into, where we sit right now here on this couch.
Yep.
And so I'd love to like dig into it.
Yeah.
If you're up for it.
Yeah, so I moved to Michigan State, went to college there, ended up deciding to go there just because I wanted to go to a party school. Loved partying, having fun. I was like, Michigan State's fun as fuck.
Is that the one with the really good football team?
Yeah, they're decent. They have
Like
a
the Big
really, no, that's Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Michigan State has a really good basketball team. They have a good football team too. They
Okay.
did really well while I was there. Like they've been in the top 10 a lot. But yeah, I went up there and ended up going to like a home event for a multi-level marketing company that we were selling like healthy energy drinks. And these guys were like making money, talking about how rich we can get. And I was like, this sounds way better than what I'm about to get into at class. Like,
Yeah.
So I ended up joining that, grinding it out. Ended up being like getting super far up the ranks in that. Got a Benz from it. Dropped out of college my second year, like after my third semester. Started just traveling up and down the coast. Like I had teams from like Toronto to Florida, so I would literally
No way.
Yeah, it was like the whole East Coast was my squad. And I would literally just drive up and down the coast in my Benz, and we'd do home events all the time. Met a bunch of cool people, figured out a lot about like sales, business, being organized. Like we were reading a lot of good books too. Like that was the coolest thing about it, is like it was pretty much a way to connect with people that we're trying to be on something different. You know what I mean? They didn't want to take like the typical life path. We're reading Think and Grow Rich, like business books, how to win friends and influence people, like just figuring out, how to be a more like complete person, I guess, and just be successful in the business arena. So it was a really great learning experience. Learned a ton from it. Became a way better person. Fell off the path a little bit in like terms of values and stuff, I feel like, during that time, but also it was like a great experience, and I met a bunch of my best friends that are still friends today.
And like when you say like your values shifted in like a negative way, what does that mean?
Just like became a little bit too wrapped up with like money and success, and put that over like other things that I do hold more dear to me, because I'm a good person.
You're a very good person.
And I kind of fell off of that a little bit and did some things I wasn't proud of, said some things I wasn't proud of, and
we've all been there.
Yeah, you got to go through that a little bit. But overall, the experience was great, just because I learned so much about sales and putting yourself out there and building networks and connections with people. So overall, it was an amazing experience, and wouldn't trade it for the world.
I love that. And then I know you told me that you had a friend who you really admired, and you were like, there was something about him who made me realize that.
Yeah, my buddy G. So yeah, we had like a psychedelic experience. It was like my second one ever, and that was when I ended up quitting Verve. But yeah, we like floated down this river, and I just like was wrapped up in all the things that I was trying to be and who I was and my status in life, I guess you would say. And my buddy G, who was like super low rank, was just like vibing, being himself, like getting super deep in his own thoughts and just living life on like his own terms. And I was like, wow, that's like actually the way I'm supposed to be. And I'm like kind of realized in that moment, like I'm trying to be somebody that I'm not, instead of just being who I truly am to like the fullest potential. And that was just through watching him be himself.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So ended up like quitting Verve, moved to New Orleans like a couple weeks after that with him, and lived with him, and got down there and started doing creative stuff, making music, making videos, just being around a bunch of creative energy and exploring a little bit down there.
And it's so cool. I've had certain pockets of my life where I'm around a ton of creative people, and you can create things together. And I don't know about you, but it's magical. Like it is like one of the most exciting feelings on the planet for me. Like it's hard to even describe if you haven't been around a bunch of people who want to create something together. It's like you're making a baby.
Yeah, literally.
Like it really is.
It is. You're like collaborating on something together and just creating this beautiful thing.
Would you guys mostly just make music, or did you guys do like business stuff? Or
yeah, we did some business stuff. Like I used to sell stuff on Amazon and do a little bit of that.
Wait, you did that?
Yeah, I sold on Amazon way back. Like I'm talking like 2014. I used to sell stuff on Amazon a lot.
Did you do private labeling, or were you doing like buying things that were cheap at stores?
We would buy stuff off Craigslist and at stores and stuff, and then just ship it into FBA and have them ship it out.
How did that go?
It went good. Like that kept us afloat for a while, and we ended up like going to Hawaii. Then we bought an RV and we just traveled around and did that for a while. I was on some super hippie stuff at that point. I love this. So, yeah, that was like the hippie period of my life.
So I actually lived in an RV too. What did you think of it?
I'm not gonna do it again. It was fun.
Do you like living in an RV? I would definitely like travel around in an RV, but like rent it.
Yeah.
Go on an adventure and then go home.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. No full-time RV life.
No, you have to like vacuum the shit out of the thing.
Yeah.
Did you have to do that?
I mean, we didn't vacuum.
Or did you have someone do it?
No, we didn't have somebody do it either.
Okay.
It was 3 boys. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm talking about. Like at some point, like your tank gets full and you have to like. evacuate it. Like the septic
yeah.
is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh, clean the septic out?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just the most nasty thing ever.
That's the grossest shit ever. And it stinks. Like if you like when
horribly.
you open the like poop valve when you like step on the thing.
And it just smells up the whole RV. Like there's no way around it.
Yeah, like no taking shits while you're driving rules. Like, yeah.
I literally drove a big ass motorhome, like those big ones. I drove it all the way from Oklahoma to here to Austin by myself, and like that was one of my most proud moments. Yeah, the fact that
big girl hand in the big wheel.
It was like me and my dogs, and I was like, holy shit, I can't believe I'm doing this. And I even had to like stop at Love's truck stop and do the septic and like get some propane. It was like a whole thing, but I'll tell you what, I felt way more badass after that. I was like, damn, I can do that.
Yeah, I'm a boss ass bitch.
Yeah. Okay, so after you did the RV, then where'd you go?
Went back to Michigan for a little bit, and then my parents were moving out to Colorado. I went out there and helped like my mom get the house ready. And when I went out there, I was like, wow, the people out here are way cooler than the people in Michigan. Like everyone's being nice to you.
Really?
Yeah, Colorado people like I feel like are pretty like chill, cool, down to earth, and it was like a way different experience from like the Midwest where a lot of people are just like negative overall. Like
I think it's the clouds.
Yeah, it's like clouds, winter time, like all that stuff kind of
like depressing.
Yeah, exactly. And people don't like think very big in the Midwest, like for the most part. Like it's kind of like small-mindedness. So knew I wanted something different. Ended up moving out to Colorado and lived there for like 6-7 years and had a blast. Learned a bunch out there too.
So when you got there, did you immediately move in with Brian and Cheyenne?
No. I stayed with my parents for a couple of years.
Okay, so it was a couple years, and then how did you come to like moving down into the city and like creating that group that you guys created?
Yeah, so Brian moved out there. He was like I didn't have friends for a couple of years out there, and then Brian moved there, and because I'm like very like picky with my friends, like I don't want to be around people unless they're like really dope. Yeah, like I'd rather just spend time by myself if they're not gonna be dope.
I think that's wise.
Yeah, so Brian ended up moving there. We clicked super hard right off the get go. We knew each other a little bit before that, like we'd had a couple interactions, but he moved out there. We had hung out a bunch, made music together, and then we were like planning to move in together down there, and then one day Brian's like, this girl Cheyenne I know is trying to move out here too. She could be our third roommate. And I was like, all right, bet, set up a call, let's see if it's a good fit. And me and Cheyenne get on this call and literally roast Brian for the first like 15 minutes of the call.
What?
It's just me and Cheyenne just like roasting Brian, and we're like, all right, this is gonna
we're friends.
Yeah, this is gonna work out. Like we're gonna have a fucking blast. And,
oh my gosh. And then it was just you guys.
Yep. And then Cheyenne moved out there. She came to Thanksgiving at my house that year before we moved in January, and Cheyenne came out like a month early and came to Thanksgiving at my house. That was the first time we ever met. Yeah. And then we had the craziest couple of years down there at Pecos Street.
That's so fun. I wish I would have known you guys at that point.
Yeah, and, like, you did meet us at that point.
Well, I met you, but our worlds didn't collide at that time.
Yeah, we just like briefly met once.
Yeah. Yeah. So then COVID happens. Yep. And you guys are still living at Pecos, right?
That was like we moved in like January, and COVID happened like April time, I feel like.
Because I need like the full story of how this whole like
Club Q,
and then all these after parties, like literally.
So COVID happened, and none of us were really about it. So we started just throwing parties at our house all the time, and Brian would DJ just literally the entire night. Like Brian would be DJing for like 8 to 10 hours every single time.
I watched him do that in Tahoe. I'm like, how is he still able to just DJ?
He's trained. That dude's got
it's a
hours.
Different breed.
Yeah, he's got hours on the deck, and it's his favorite thing to do. Yeah. So he just loves it so much. And I would just be going around entertaining people, and Brian would just be DJing, and we'd just have the most fun parties at our house. And then we started just calling it Club Q for Club Quarantine. Yeah. And we just threw parties nonstop during quarantine. Please don't cancel us. But
dude, everyone was partying during quarantine.
Yeah. All the cool people, at least.
I mean, it was either you were like, I don't know, like everyone's situation, but it was either you were fighting with your significant other and you were hating each other living at home, or you were partying with your friends and like house hopping. Yep. Because I was definitely going to house parties. Yeah. But I would go to Dez's house.
Yeah. Yeah. Dez was cool too.
He was always throwing parties.
Yeah. Dez.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It was like his house or our house, but our house was never like a party vibe. Like it was just like the hangout. Yeah. It was like before and after.
Chills, the pre-games.
Chill zone, yeah. Also, the house we were in, I don't know if you remember, it was all carpet.
Really?
Yeah, like even the bathrooms were
I don't
carpet.
think I went to your house, did I?
Okay, well, you know what? I didn't think you'd been to my house, but the other day you had mentioned something and I was like, oh, maybe he did go to my house.
No, I don't think I did.
Okay. So that house was like built in the 70s and it had carpet literally everywhere in the bathrooms and everything.
In the bathroom?
Yes. So it was like a little sketch.
Yeah.
But it was a good house. It just smelled like dogs because we had huge dogs and the entire place was carpet.
Yeah.
So that was like crazy a little bit. But. Okay, so you guys are partying Club Q. And at first, I'm sure it's just the people you know. And then do what? People start like inviting other people?
Yeah, I mean, well, Brian's just like a social, well, he used to be more so, but he's just like a super social butterfly where he would just invite people over all the time. Like, there would always be different people at our house every single day. Every day. And I was like more in grind mode. I was playing poker a bunch at this point. Yeah. So I would literally work my job, come home, grind poker. There'd just always be people at our house.
And what were they doing? Just chilling?
Yeah, just chilling, having fun, like hanging out, doing business stuff, like grinding at the house, just all sorts of random
because
shit.
their 808 stuff hadn't happened yet, right?
Nope, that hadn't started at this point. Brian was doing like fitness consulting at this point.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he like consulted gyms and stuff.
Okay.
So
you're grinding away playing poker.
Yeah, and there's just always people running through our house, and yeah, we just slowly, I mean, there were so many like people I didn't like that came over, but we met a lot of good friends and eventually just like formed a really like strong bond with some of the people and then had like our solid squad.
More tight-knit group.
Yeah, like Brian would bring them in and I would vet them and then I'd be like, he can stay.
And then they need to go.
Yeah, I was like, this person's whack, this person's whack, this person's
Did you ever have to kick anyone out?
No, I mean, I don't know. No, I don't.
You're also not the type.
Monique
kicked
Monique kicked girls out several times at the parties.
No way.
Yeah.
Like, were they just being whack or?
No, there was this one night where Casey and Zach invited a bunch of Hinge girls over. Like, it was our Hinge party. Mm-hmm. They probably had like 50 plus girls come through from Hinge.
Way.
Like, they literally were mass messaging all day for this party we were throwing. And Monique was fed up with it because there was so many girls. It was the same night we did that rap. You know that rap? With Zach in the basement? It was that night. And Monique, some girls came in, like 5 girls came in, and they're like, is Casey here? And Monique's like, no, he's not. You can leave.
Oh my God.
we still give Monique shit about that, but yeah.
She's just like, I'm over this.
Yeah. She was like, we need to keep this group smaller. There's too many random bitches in here.
Also, there's something to be said about like when, at least for me, like, I tend to try and be friends with anyone who's like coming in. So if there's a new girl coming into the group, and this would happen to me in Denver, I would make friends with them, right? And like I was friends with, obviously I had a boyfriend at the time, and then we had some friends, and then they had girlfriends. Well, sometimes they would break up with their girlfriends or like cheat on their girlfriends and then bring other girls around. And so then I would be trying to be friends with these new girls, and then it was like causing problems. Because
the old girls were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they're like, why don't you have my back? And I'm like, oh my God, like, what? Mo would have kicked him out. I like didn't kick him out. Yeah. So that was just like such especially if I liked him.
Yeah, you're way more like friendly energy. Like you give off those love vibes to everyone to make everyone feel comfortable, which you need those people in the group 100%.
Totally. Yeah. Especially because otherwise it can be so uncomfortable meeting new people sometimes.
Yeah, and then they feel awkward right off the vibe if nobody's like talking to them or making them feel welcome.
Yeah, and then it just
you need that. You need to do that sometimes.
Yeah. Also, like I am such a person where I feel people's energy, so if it's off, I can like tell. Yeah. And that's why I like have to be careful when I take mushrooms. Yeah. Because it really heightens that like ability, and I can just like I'll start like I don't know what to do. Yeah. I don't know what to do. Like I don't know. Yeah. Literally. Okay, so then you guys start your partying with quarantine, and then how did it become? Because you were there when they started doing like afters, right?
Yeah. Yep. That was.
I remember seeing pictures of you and Cole.
Yeah, that was like when we first started becoming friends with Cole. But yeah, they started making jerseys, and then I was like, yo, you guys need to do this full time. Like Brian was still doing the fitness consulting stuff, and he didn't like it that much, and it wasn't going super well at the end of it. And then he like made a resume and stuff, but they were selling those jerseys and people were buying them. And I was like, dude, you guys just need to focus on this. Like, you could make this shit blow the fuck up. And Brian shouted me out so many times on his podcast about this, but I was just like, dude, if you guys take this serious, you can take it to the fucking moon. Like, and it's like so cool because it's inside of and I always give them hype about this. It's inside of like an industry that they care about. They both have been going to EDM shows forever. Mm-hmm. They both love sports a ton. So they're literally making sports jerseys of their favorite EDM artists. It's just like such a cool niche, and people loved the merch so much. And I was like, dude, this this is sick. Like, this is like, like the habit, like, it's cool to be like successful in business, but to do something you're actually passionate about, it's like the next level. And I still honestly haven't even done that yet, but it's so cool to like watch those two, Luke and Brad, grow this shit. And,
I love that.
And just blow it up, and I'm so proud of them.
That's amazing. Well, and in regards to like what you're passionate about, would you say like this new vlog you guys are coming out with is like a passion?
That is like that's been a dream of mine since I was like 10. Like, I've been making videos since I was like a little kid, funny videos with my sisters and all sorts of people. Like, we used to do this like show in high school called Bulldog Blitz.
What's that?
It was just like our like weekly show. Like, they would show it on Fridays at the end of the day. Like,
No
and
way.
everyone in the school would watch it. And me and my buddy Drew would just like host it a bunch of the times.
What?
And we both loved The Office so much. So it's just like funny ass shit like that, where we're just being awkward but funny at the same time and just doing skits and whatnot.
I love that. And the whole school would get to see it?
Yep, the whole school.
Dude, that's
would watch.
badass.
Yeah, it was a small school, but yeah, it was.
How small?
I graduated with like 72 kids.
Oh, okay. So you were very similar to my high school.
Really? You had about that many?
Mine was like, I want to say like maybe 100.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, a little bit small town. You know everybody.
Yeah, you know everybody.
Yep.
I
all their
preferred
business.
it that way.
Yeah, it's cool because you get to like meet people and you know everything about them.
It's also like, well, because I went to 4 high schools, and 2 of them were big public high schools, and then 2 of them were small, like and one was even smaller. The graduating class for there, if I would have graduated there, was like 20 people.
Oh, wow.
So it was very small.
That's super small.
Glad I left that. It's actually closed down now.
Really?
That school sucked. Yeah. Oh, that was a whole disaster. But what was I trying to say here? I loved being a part of like it felt so tight knit, and there wasn't as much aggression. Like, I felt at the public schools there's a lot of aggression, and like I was getting bullied by like Native American girls because I was white.
Really?
Yeah, which was super scary because they were
like, it's
way
supposed to be
bigger
the
than
other
me.
way
And I was so
around.
small. No.
I'm supposed to be bullying you.
And I was like, dude, this is crazy. And I felt like a total nobody. But when it's such a smaller group, like, you get to meet people.
Yeah.
It's like a safer environment, I felt like.
Yeah, it is. But the only bad thing about that is everyone knows each other's business, and there's like, everyone's always judging each other. Like, I used to party a lot in high school, and a bunch of people in my high school didn't, so I was like kind of judgmental in that fact.
Yeah.
So by the end, they were just like, this kid's a fucking degenerate, which you were right.
But look where he's at now. Yeah, I didn't have that experience in high school, but I did in college.
Really?
Yeah, because I had gotten in with like the Young Life people, and I was a Young Life leader. And
What's that? What's Young Life?
Young Life is like a Christian organization where you are like a youth leader for high school kids. And I had done it like as a high school kid when I was in high school. And then when I got to college, I was having a difficult time making friends. The girls who were in my dorm were super mean to me. I had to move away to like a different area of the dorm. And then I got paired with a girl who, that was just a little interesting in general. She was a little cuckoo. Like, if I was like eating my pretzels, she'd be like, "Can you keep it down?"
You're munching.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God. And I just, that was like a lonely time because I was homeless living in the woods with my family right before I went to school. And so already I was just like,
Trying to figure
uneasy.
trying to figure out how to be social again.
yeah, just like feeling just insecure and like, and this is like, I talked about this in a couple of the podcasts I recorded with like Cole and Am, but I wasn't confident yet. And so I hadn't like found that in me. And so I just was like, I felt like just a fish in the ocean. Like, where do I belong?
Yeah. What age range were you in the woods?
From just out of eighth grade all the way up until college, on and off.
Wow, that is like such a like tough time. I feel like to go through that.
Dude, yeah. It actually, I think, made me very closed off from people in the way that like I didn't want to let people in because it was terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't tell anyone how hard it was or like what was going on. And also my senior year of high school, like I had a bunch of these friends and I told on them for smoking marijuana.
Oh, geez.
Which is horrible.
We got a rat.
It's like, it's okay, but like this is one of those stories that like if you know all the details, you would realize. So basically, like the principal and everyone, and I was not allowed to smoke weed. I didn't really do drugs. You know, I had smoked like once in high school. And the teachers and my parents, like, oh no, not my parents. The teachers were like telling me, I'm just going to name them like Bob and Bart. Bob and Bart are like extremely in danger because they were popping Percocets and people knew it. Like they were going down a dark path, and they were like, the faculty was scaring the shit out of me, saying like, hey, you need to tell on them. And they brought in a police officer, and
Why'd they want you to tell on them?
Because I was best friends with them.
Oh, what?
It was horrible. And
what?
I don't think anyone in that class like realized that I was sitting in an office with a police officer, and the dean was like, write a statement. And my parents were fucking pissed because they're like, you're not allowed to be in the room with the police officer if I don't know about it. And so that was like a whole thing. So yeah, I lost all my friends because I narked.
Yeah.
I was scared shitless.
Finally make some friends. Snitch on them to the police.
It was horrible.
You guys told on them for weed, though?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. At least you left the perkies out of it.
Yeah, no, that was just like such a scary scenario. So anyways, but I was in college, and I got in with Young Life people, and I was partying, and I liked to drink and like hang out, and I was working in a bar, and people were just like, you're scary.
Yeah.
Like I was like an outsider.
Yeah. Christians are like that.
Yeah. Why?
They're just a judgmental group of people overall.
Yeah, I actually stopped going to church.
Yeah. It's sad.
It is sad.
Because there's like so many good things that do come from Christianity and like religion as a whole, but they just, I don't know, I feel like they get in their own way. Like they literally they ostracize people so much for any little thing you do bad. It's like, dude, Jesus forgave us for all of our sins. So
and Jesus never did that.
How about you stop judging me, motherfucker?
Yeah. And it was I don't even know why people do that.
Yeah.
When's the last time you went to church?
Man, I don't even know. I remember I did go to church when I was on that RV trip. I went to church at like this like youth group in LA, and Justin Bieber was there, Selena Gomez was there, Tim Tebow was there. It was my first day in LA. That might have been the last time I went to church, to be honest with you. It was like some famous like youth pastor.
No way.
So, yeah.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. I just don't remember his name.
Yeah.
He wrote like a book.
Yeah,
I think
he's definitely like famous.
Judah.
Yeah, that actually might be it.
It's Judah something.
Yeah, that is.
Because I remember Justin Bieber would go to his stuff all the time.
Yeah, so Justin Bieber, Selena Gomez. It's like 400 people in this room. It's like Justin Bieber, Selena Gomez, Tim Tebow in there. I'm like, where the fuck am I?
Was it cool?
It was cool. It was a good time.
It was just like a regular youth service.
Yeah, they're just like up there preaching the word.
Yeah, I loved going to church in some aspect, but I also just didn't. I felt like I find more church and like connection when I have conversations with people, and like you can feel love.
Yeah.
Because I think that when I would have conversations with people in like the Christian faith, quite often they weren't feeling heart-centered.
Yeah.
And their heart wasn't open, so it's really impossible to connect.
Yep. Yeah, they need to try psychedelics.
They really do. It's amazing. Like I never used to do that stuff, but once I started, I was like, whoa, my world just opened up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible what it'll do for your mind.
Yeah. Have you ever heard that, you know how Moses had that burning bush? There's like a theory that it was like a DMT bush and that he was like hallucinating when all that shit happened for Moses.
No way.
Yeah, that's
I
like
can
a
actually
theory.
see that being like a theory.
Yeah. Who knows if it's fact?
Who knows? Also, people have been smoking stuff and doing like rituals forever.
Yeah. Forever.
Forever. So like you know that it's not like anything new.
Yeah.
Like if people are offended by it, they need to check themselves.
Yeah, get over it.
Have you seen the Doja Cat's new like song in her album cover?
Uh-uh.
In her video?
Is it crazy?
Super demonic.
What?
Like super demonic. I'll actually pull up a picture for you. So
I like Doja Cat.
I liked Doja Cat, but now I'm scared to listen to her music because I feel like it's gonna like
She's on some demon vibes.
she's on some scary vibes. I feel like it's gonna be some sort of like what do you call it when there's like when they're like mind controlling you?
Yeah. A lot of music's like that. Gotta be careful.
So her whole video is like super scary. I actually refuse to watch it. Like, look at this shit.
Yeah, that's tweaking.
Super creepy. And she's like with the Grim Reaper, but this is her album cover. Like, what the fuck?
Dude, she's weird. She's always been weird, though.
Yeah, but like, what's with the Satan stuff now? Sam Smith started doing it.
Yeah. Lil Nas X did all that shit. I remember he got a bunch of flack.
I think they sold their soul.
A lot of them do.
Yeah, I think that they have to. It only seems to happen a lot in the music industry. Like, I don't see actors losing their damn mind.
Yeah, it's tough to know with them. I feel like some of them probably do too, like Hollywood stars and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not as noticeable because they're not putting out their own content. They're just like being a part of other people's. And it's like, I guess it's probably more accepted because they're just like reading a role, when music's like you're more in charge of the creation process.
That's a good point. And you're the face of it all.
Yeah.
Like, you are it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Okay, so you got back from... So how did you get to Vegas?
I ended up winning a lot of money in poker in 2020, I think it was, or 2021, and then I was also building like a poker app at the same time, to, like track bankrolls and stuff. And I'd been doing that for like a couple of years, like we'd just building it on the side with a couple of developers. And then me and my business partner Blake decided to get a house out in Vegas. Moved out there to try and make my poker dream a reality. Ended up going on a huge downswing. Life was just throwing everything at me. Like a bunch of bad stuff just kept happening back to back to back to back.
Like what?
Over like 6 months. Went on a huge poker downswing.
And when a downswing just means like you were losing?
Yeah, losing over a long period of time. Like I don't know. Lost a bunch of money in crypto too. Ended up losing like a couple $100,000 in like a 6 month span.
Damn, that sucks so bad.
Yeah, it was not fun.
And you were living with like random people?
No, I was living with my business partner.
Oh.
And then while that's all happening, our other third person, who was my business partner's, she was also my business partner too, but my business partner's girlfriend, ended up just starting a whole thing with our app and everything right when we finally had like a functional app and people were using it. And she ended up just turning off the code, and Blake wouldn't do anything because it was his girlfriend, and she turned it off. So like that was like at the bottom of my downswing. They turned off the app while we had active users and stuff. And it's just,
wow.
I was just so down bad in life, and like it was honestly by far the toughest time of my entire life. And then I was like started applying to jobs and stuff because I was like, this isn't working out. I need to get like a stable source of income.
Yeah.
And I just applied to hundreds of jobs, wasn't getting anything. I at one point thought I was gonna have to work at like Chipotle or Subway or some shit.
Damn.
Like that's how down bad I was at this point. And like I have a decent resume. Like I was a project manager for 3 years before that, before I moved, and yeah, it was a wild time, and ended up getting a job at the company I work for now and just doing sales for them. Ended up doing really well over a few months, did a bunch of other stuff outside of sales, and got promoted to director of marketing and business development. So
fuck yeah.
Got a nice little flashy title, and I've helped them scale quite a bit. And
quite a bit.
Yeah. We've like quadrupled.
Yeah.
So it's been
like, don't be shy.
Yeah, it's been pretty sick, and I've been having a blast doing it. And now I work remote. I told them at the end of last year, I was like, look, I don't have any friends in Vegas. Like, I can't just stay here and be by myself all the time and just work here. So they're like, will you work remote for us still? You're not gonna quit, are you? And I was like, you're down to let me work remote, I'm down.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I went remote, and then ended up going back to Colorado for a couple months and moving here.
I love that. So when it comes to like running a drop shipping website, because I think a lot of people right now are sick of their jobs. They're like, oh, I'm just going to get into selling on Amazon or drop shipping, you know. And I think people think it's really fucking easy. Yeah. But it's not. Like, and maybe you can like add to this, but it's not just something that can be like picked up overnight. Like a lot of people say it can online.
Yeah. Luckily, like with my company, they already had like a good foundation. They've been in business for 50 years, have a bunch of good relationships with different people and vendors and stuff. So we had like a pretty good product category. So I really just had to focus on like marketing and making sure everything was set up right on our website and focusing our ad money and stuff like that. But yeah, drop shipping as a whole is not super easy. You got to build a credible website, number one, and you got to know how to market it after you build that credible website for people and get it out there in front of the people that you want buying your stuff.
And how do you market it?
We do like Google ads, Bing ads, stuff like that, email marketing, SMS, all sorts of...
So you're not actually worried about any type of social media platforms?
No, we don't do any social media really. I mean, we post a little bit like on LinkedIn and Facebook, but barely any at all. So, but yeah, it's mostly just ran through pay-per-click ads and then doing email and SMS to all of our subscribers and stuff and just remarketing stuff towards them.
That's awesome. And so just is it just increasing the budgets that has made you be able to grow so fast? Or
We haven't even increased the budgets yet.
what?
Yeah.
And it's still growing
So
that
like
fast?
the biggest thing that I've done, well, the number one thing was get our website right. Our website was really dusty when I started. I was like, this is crazy that we're selling stuff at all.
Yeah. Wasn't that bad?
It was super bad. So I just learned about like conversion rate optimization, and I got our website, and we have a really beautiful website. I think we have the best website in our entire industry.
Yeah.
But yeah, just got that all super dialed in. Got the sales processes dialed in. They didn't have any processes for things and stuff, so I just set up a bunch of processes. Got everything dialed in on that front. Launched email marketing because we weren't doing it at all. Got SMS marketing set up. Switched over because we were selling like a lot of low ticket things like wheels and stuff. And I was like, yeah, we're selling a lot of these, but we have these whatever $30,000 forklifts on our website. We have these, $2,500 pallet jacks. We have all these bollards that are $600 a pop. Like, let's focus on these instead. We can sell the same, like, do the same amount of orders and just be able to double our income by just switching over. So, started focusing our ad money, redistributing it from focusing on small things to more of the big high ticket items.
That's awesome. And I think that's actually really wise because a lot of people figure out, oh, what's a cheap product to sell people and sell a lot of.
Yeah.
But when you can find something that's like a luxury item or like a high ticket item, you actually can do less and you'll make more.
Yeah, exactly. You have to do way less, and you got to promote it to way less people to be able to do the same amount.
Didn't you say you have a new like AI robot or something?
Yeah, we're working on bringing on an AI forklift company.
So there's no driver at all?
No driver. It's all mapped out.
And does someone, like, if I got it from my warehouse, let's say, do I have to, like, pre-program it, or have, like, a tech come out?
Yeah, they set everything up pre-planned, and they, like, you have to have all your, like, what they normally drive, like, what's the route, where your pallet's at, stuff like that, where do your trucks get picked up, and you, like, program that all into it, but then it has, like, sensors and stuff to read where it's at and whatnot.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's pretty cutting-edge technology, and they're super early on. Like, this company's not, like, super big. They're publicly traded, but they're, like, kind of just figuring out the technology. Like, all the AI stuff's kind of at the forefront, so we're just getting ahead of it a little bit. But
dude, 5 years from now, the world's going to look different.
Yeah, way different. Way different.
I'm, like, preparing myself because, like, who knows? Like, between that and the deep fakes and, like, everything's, like, really, it's, like, about to tip over.
Yeah.
Like, it's, like, been building and building and building.
But it's making it easier for people to run big companies with less resources. You know what I mean? Like, even
100%.
you on your podcast, like, you're able to edit all these clips super easily and make these shorts because you have AI built into it, and, like, you're using those type of tools.
Totally. And for anyone who is listening who wants to know how to do something like this, so I use a program called Riverside, which is hosting the podcast, where it'll record the video and the audio at one time, because I tried to do it and, like, put it into iMovie and, like, put the audio and put the video, and for some reason it doesn't line up, which makes no fucking sense to me.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's possible. And then from there, Riverside will also generate, like, smart clips for you. They're not the greatest. They're only great if you want it landscape mode or if there's only one speaker. But if you want really good generated clips, you go to Opus Clip, and you can upload a YouTube video. It doesn't even have to be your YouTube video. You could do anything. But you upload a YouTube video or a file, and it will generate like 10 to 15 clips, and it'll tell you a description of why the clip is good, how viral, like its viral score out of 100. It'll throw captions on there
and
with
it's like
colors.
reading into what all the hashtags and everything are, and like it's like literally modern day trends. Like, didn't you say your number one clip it was saying was when you were talking about Bobby?
Yep, Bobby and Drake.
Yeah, so it literally is reading into the algorithm of social media and picking up on that, and then listening to your podcast and telling you what the most viral shit is. Like, that's ridiculous that technology already exists.
I know. I use ChatGPT all the time.
Yeah.
I use it to, I used it when I created an Upwork job listing, which I finally found someone.
Yay.
He finally completed the first task. And I also use it for my Amazon listings.
Yep.
I would give me some ideas on what to say. And it was you could take it and then modify it, which is so easy to modify.
Yeah, it's less of the idea creation process, though. So you just got to scan 20 different ideas for headlines or whatever and pick the best one. You use your human judgment after you get to see all these different examples of what's possible.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited. I mean, it's been making my business easier to do.
Yeah.
For sure. And when a lot of people will be because I sell on Amazon, and I'll get a lot of people who ask me oh, like, how did you do that? And I, give them a name of a class that's what I took in order to do it. But people need to realize if you hear of like a get rich quick scheme online, like, Mark Cuban even talked about it. Like, you can't put a lot of belief into that. You need to realize that people that have successful businesses or successful websites, they don't happen overnight.
Yeah.
It's like years in the making.
It takes a lot of hard work.
A lot of hard work, a lot of fuck ups.
Yeah.
A lot of lost money.
Yep.
Like things that go horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Shipments that get fucked up. Products that I've lost so much money on. I invested in like these really nice bamboo organizers. They were so cute. They were perfect products. But they all showed up to the warehouse broken, and I didn't know. Because I didn't have an inspector look at it, because I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
And
you got to learn that part of the process. That's part of the process. Figuring out, I need an inspector to make sure these are high quality.
Exactly. And actually, Cole taught me that one because I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Also, there's like this weird thing, and maybe you know about this, but when it comes to shipping, I've noticed that like I can't tell, because I always have my suppliers calculate the shipping. I don't really have Amazon do it. Like, I don't want to be my own shipping agent. That's like too much for me. But sometimes I can't keep up. I'm like, are you guys hoeing me?
Yeah.
on the shipping cost?
Prices, yeah.
Or like they'll like offset. They'll be like, oh, we'll give you a cheaper product, but really the shipping increased. So that you're not really,
They do try.
Do you have to deal with that?
Yeah, some of them. I mean, I definitely get way different prices from different manufacturers. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them do mark it up for sure.
What would your advice be for anybody who wants to start a dropshipping website?
I would find a product that is going to sell and is maybe not out there super a lot right now, and just figure out a cool different way to market it. I mean, there's so many different ways you can market things nowadays. There's obviously like Google, Bing ads, but there's also TikTok where you can do products just organically. You know what I mean? And just do them on social media. So there's a million different ways to market things. I would just figure out what you want to sell and what the best way to sell that is. What's going to be the best platform. So.
I love that. Also, if anyone is selling on Amazon or wants to, if you market on places like TikTok, you can set up brand attribution tags, which will give you a kickback. So, like, let's say someone buys your product for $19.99. Well, $2 will come back to you as a kickback because you brought the sale from TikTok.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which is pretty cool because you could save quite a bit of money if you can get a good amount of sales.
Yeah, exactly. So if you figure out how to market something on TikTok, you're going to be making way more on your sales. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So something something I've been doing with my listeners so far, each guest I have on, is to share some of the wisdom that you've accumulated over your lifetime. Like, what are some...
Big question.
Yeah, it's a big question.
What's the top, like, how would you phrase it?
Like what is a piece of wisdom that you could share with people that, like, here's the thing. Everyone has a different life and experiences different things. And most likely no one will ever experience what you have experienced in your life, right? Just like you probably won't experience what they did. So I think it's cool to have whoever's on my podcast, like, share what you have found that could help other people so that they don't have to necessarily go through that exact scenario.
I mean, I think my biggest thing is if you really want to make like high quality friends in life and surround yourself with good people, then you kind of have to be that like spark in their life too. Like, I think I'm really good at hyping people up and keeping them like focused on what I think they're good at. You know what I mean? I will tell people the things that they're bad at and the things that I feel like they should work on, but making sure they feel like that love and support and that encouragement, because it's like hard to take chances in life kind of. So like pushing people like the Brian and Luke thing, like I was like, yo, you guys should do this, and now it's ridiculous what those guys are doing, and I'm not gonna take all the credit for it. They did all the work. But, you know what I mean, just things like that where you just like push people in positive directions, and I feel like that's one of my main purposes in life is just everyone that I'm friends with and I encounter, like, just try and make their life a little bit better and just push them in a positive direction from our interaction. So that's one thing that I definitely hold as like one of my life values. To help people just become their highest self, get the most they can out of life.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And so true.
Yeah. In terms of other things, stack up this money. Go get that bread. Yeah, and have fun. Just like enjoy life, do fun shit, like meet cool people. definitely like think about who you're surrounding yourself with. Like you need to surround yourself with good people. If you want to have like a high quality life, you need to kind of be a little bit picky about the people you allow into your space and like think, what are they bringing to my life? You know what I mean? And are they actually being a good friend to me?
Yeah.
So I definitely think that's an important thing that I've done in my life is make sure you kind of vet people that you're surrounding yourself with, because you're always going to be an average of the top 5 people you spend your time around. Like you're just going to mold to that type of like mindset. So yeah, definitely surround yourself with good people. Make sure you treat them good. Be a positive force in the world. There's a lot of negative energy out there, so we need to definitely be on the Jedi side of things and make sure we're fighting against the dark evils of the world.
Seriously. So if you find that someone is no longer a good fit, let's say for your inner circle, then what? Like, how do you approach that?
Just phase them out.
Just like naturally, just kind of like stop hanging out with them as much?
Yeah, just stop hanging out with them as much. Stop, you know what I mean, surrounding yourself with them. Just, it's not going to happen overnight, you know what I mean? But if you know you deserve better, then you kind of just got to make that decision in your own life that, hey, I deserve to be treated better than I'm being treated right now. And I deserve better people around me than this. And
what happens like when, because I've had scenarios like this, and I do the thing where I don't phase people out. I just stop talking to them completely. I'm like, you're done.
Yeah.
And then they're gone. And I do think that while that can be good in some ways, I also think that it can be hurtful to people, and
it's like it creates a little bit of animosity. And
I think also like people, if they don't know why it happened, like there's a few friends I can think of that did me dirty.
Definitely call them out on their bullshit too before that happens. You know what I mean? Like be like, yo, this is whack, this is whack, this is whack, and kind of give them an idea. That way it's not just like a complete out of the blue thing, I feel like.
Yeah.
And that way they can hopefully grow from it, because then if they're hurt by you cutting them out of your life, at least they know why, and they're like, hopefully they're thinking about that in the back of their head and work on those things so they can be better friends in the future to people and treat people better, because they just lost a dope ass friend because of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's making me think like maybe I should go back and like, do you think going back and saying something at this point, like it's been years?
Nah, I mean, if you have a conversation with them, or if you like link up with them or talk to them or something, like maybe you can bring it up.
Well, someone reached out to me
and said, why aren't we friends anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that.
And then I read their message and I never said anything.
Yeah, I would just be like, look, these are the things that kind of ended things for me on my side of things, where I was like, didn't want to deal with it anymore.
Yeah,
I feel like that if they reach out to you and ask you about it, then that's definitely a good chance to do it.
Well, it was also like, and this was a couple years ago, so I feel like at least in this scenario, like it's no longer really, it's not like I'm going to go back on that option. But when someone comes at you and is like, you know, you're missing out on such a great friendship, and like almost like insulting you with it. Yeah. And it's just kind of like, okay, well, but this is the whole reason why we're not friends anyways.
Yeah, I mean, that's your chance to say it right there. Be like, look, this is why I cut you off in the first place.
Yeah.
Like you're only thinking about,
Okay, let me look at my thing here. Okay, so we love telling crazy stories on here.
Crazy stories with Jade.
Crazy Jade.
On the Jade Simone Podcast.
So you have lived in Vegas for a while. Is there anything absolutely crazy that you saw? Because crazy shit happens in Vegas daily.
I wasn't down like on the strip like that. I was a little bit on the outskirts. I'm trying to think about the craziest thing I saw in Vegas.
How often did you go to the strip?
I probably only went I went down there to play poker, but outside of that, maybe like 4 or 5 times the entire time I lived there.
Really? Yeah. So where were you living? How far away were you?
Like 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not like a down in the city type of, I haven't even been downtown often.
Yeah, you haven't at all.
It's not my vibes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Also, I don't know about you, but so my cousins used to live in Las Vegas. And actually, I lived in Las Vegas for a very short time when I was really little. But I had been there many times throughout my childhood just because my cousins lived there. That is a dark suburban, vibe.
Yeah. I was in North Las Vegas at the end of it. It was kind of darker vibes up there. Some of the places are nice though, like Summerlin and stuff. Like it's more of like a family atmosphere and whatnot. But,
okay, I don't know if I've been there.
Yeah, there is some good parts of Vegas, but there's definitely a lot of dirty, grimy shit going on out there.
It's just I remember feeling a void.
Yeah.
Like it was like something's missing here.
Yeah. Okay, I just thought of the craziest thing I saw in Vegas.
Okay.
So I'm at the poker table. We're playing PLO cash game.
What's that?
It's just like 4 cards. So it's not a tournament. So it's just everyone's got money in front of them. And this kid sits down. He's just super animated and just like acting crazy. He's drinking, eating food, being the life of the fucking table, like acting crazy. He's playing terrible too. So but he's just playing crazy pots with people. And everyone, like, when there's a crazy person at the table playing for a lot of money, you're like licking your chops at this point. And he's like talking about how he's like a voice actor for Disney. I think he said he was the voice actor for Phineas and Ferb.
Okay.
Which ended up not being true. He was a voice actor, but not for Phineas and Ferb. Like, he just made up this lie that he was on Phineas and Ferb.
Also, why Phineas and Ferb if you're going to make it up?
Yeah, well, he did the voice then, too. He's like, did the voice, and I don't know Phineas and Ferb, so I couldn't call him on anything. But he's just acting super, like, erratic and stuff, and I was like, there's something off about this kid. Ends up, like, they're getting in crazy. They're going all in, like, pre-flop and just not looking at their cards type of shit. Like, just putting all their money in the middle without even looking at their cards. Like, it was craziness. And then he, like, gets a couple other drunk guys to go play, like, blackjack and go play baccarat with them and, like, takes them off. I was like, that kid's up to something. End up finding out, like, that kid had done the same thing, like, a few nights before and got somebody else to go with him and do that. And then, like, a couple months later, this dude, Rampage Poker, who's the biggest poker vlogger, said that he gave this kid $5,000 after he'd been hanging out with them for a little bit and like for the buy into something or whatnot, and the kid just like pretty much never paid him back, ghosted him completely, made up this story about how he got beat up, like he had like a black eye where he like punched himself and shit.
What?
Yeah, and he like robbed literally the biggest poker vlogger like a few months after this. And I didn't know what the kid was up to, but you could just tell he was up to something.
Up to no good.
Up to no good at all. And he's just talking about how he's playing like 30K baccarat hands and whatnot, and he's just out there like scamming people in Vegas.
Dude, I bet that happens so often in Vegas.
Yeah.
Like I remember seeing like a TikTok video where there was like this guy who he's trying to do like a magic trick, and then there's like 4 people just like standing watching, and they're trying to or this guy's like standing next to him taking the video, and he's like, this is a scam, just so you know, all of these people are in on this scam. Like they're waiting for a new person to come in and be like, oh, what's the commotion, and then they scam him.
Oh wow. Yeah, I bet shit like that happens all the time in Vegas.
Oh yeah. Well, and the amount of escorts that are walking around, like I was surprised.
Yeah, there is a bunch of escorts out there.
Yeah, all different like shapes, sizes, ages,
whatever
like,
you want, they got it for you in Vegas. Sin City, baby.
And do they just like? Do you think they talk to like pretty much any guy?
Yeah,
just
some of them are.
Willing?
Yeah, and they have like apps and stuff. Like there's all sorts.
Oh, they have an app?
Yeah, they have apps for it.
Oh,
there's
it's like Tinder for escorts.
Literally, you can pick whatever one you want.
No way.
Yeah, some of my buddies have done it before.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they have a good experience?
Yeah, it's like $1,000. You get to go out on a date with a girl, bang her at the end of the night. Cheaper than some girls. Cheaper than girlfriends.
Sometimes that could be true.
Okay, I got a question. What's like your dream goal for like this podcast and everything you're doing right now? Because I know you love making content. You're very, very animated and good at it. You've been practicing for a while too on TikTok, which a lot of people might not know, but you've been like working on your TikTok game and like being cool on camera for a while, and I've seen you level up quite a bit since you started, which has
Thank you.
Yeah, you've gotten way better at making videos and making them entertaining. You're figuring out like having hooks at the beginning to draw people in, so I definitely see the progress. What's like the end goal, and what do you kind of see happening from this?
So my goal, I think that like my aspirations would be to have my own show. Like you said, I love to entertain. Like it's just in my being. I naturally am gravitated towards that, and I love entertaining people, and I love having good conversation. I love being crazy and just like having fun, and I enjoy like getting other people hyped up and bringing the fun into like a communal fun, you know? And I've also been really enjoying going live on TikTok lately.
It's been going good too.
It's been going really good.
It's crazy how many people are tuning into your live.
I know.
I couldn't even believe the numbers you were sending me.
It's a good thing I actually showed you the screenshot, because I don't know if you'd believe me.
Dude, I was like, no way when you first said it. And then the second one's even bigger. And then you sent me the screenshot. I was like, no fucking way.
I love it. And I feel like it's easy for me to talk to people. I feel like I'm actually talking to them.
Yeah.
Which is so fun for me. And so my dream is to just like get this to be on like a more massive scale and like be able to connect with people. And so this girl on TikTok the other day, I don't know if you saw her comment. I posted one of my podcast snippets and it was about red flags. And she comments back and she's telling me this insane story about how her ex-boyfriend like lied about having cancer and killed her dog and like crazy shit, right? And I message her back. I'm like, dude, we need to have a video from you. And she was just like, do you have a call line? And I'm like, oh my God, a call line.
Yeah,
I'm like,
sick.
dude, because I watched this other guy on a podcast the other day and he had someone like calling in. And I stayed on that one video for 4 minutes, like just eating up the craziness of this call. And I'm like, okay, so I'm going to try to figure out a call line.
You should. Theo Von does that too, where he just like.
Does he really?
People, I think the way they set it up is like they have call lines, but people like leave voicemails kind of almost where they're like talking about it, and then you just listen to it and then you like riff off of it, or at least that's how Theo Von does it.
Okay. I think I would prefer to engage with somebody.
Yeah.
If they're willing. I mean, the other is if people couldn't actually be on it, but I think there's actually a way to like have a call line on here and I'm going to figure it out cuz we need her juicy story.
Yeah.
And I think it would be fun cuz so for instance, I love the Call Her Daddy podcast. I'm not like a religious watcher of it, but I like tuning into some of her episodes. But what I think that a lot of podcasts are missing, and because like my number one favorite podcast is the Joe Rogan podcast. But what I think it's missing is like, it's only celebrities and like, it's only famous people who are on the podcast. And while they have great things to say, I think we're like missing something where like everyone's got stories.
Yeah.
And like everyone's got like wisdom that they've acquired and like crazy like events that have happened and like heartfelt things that they can offer the world. And so I just think it'd be fun to have like a community where people can just interact.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to feel like you're so great for it. Like you have a bubbly personality. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would fucking love to have a show.
Yeah.
Like, welcome.
You have a show
Wear
right
a
now.
Sparkly outfit.
The Jade Simone
Look, it literally
show.
says the Jade Simone show. Oh my God.
Let's go. You have a show. You're like,
right
I
here.
want to have my own show. What are we on right now?
I know. So what are your aspirations for Hustlers Anonymous?
So we're making a YouTube channel right now. It's going to be like we're going to do pranks, vlogs, travel around, do fun stuff with our friends and stuff because we have a really solid group of friends. So just kind of showcase it. And I don't know, just kind of show like it's Hustlers Anonymous. So the whole idea is like you hustle, but you kind of like hustle in silence. But also now we're going to be like debuting it to the world a little bit. And yeah, just show people like, hey, because I have so many dope friends doing so many different like dope things, and we just kind of want to showcase that a little bit and show like, hey, we're having fun, but we're also on our grind, and kind of like mix those two worlds together because you do see a lot of like different channels where people are having fun and doing cool stuff, but also there's kind of that element of like not as much like consciousness and like meaning behind things. And I feel like that's something our friend group does very, very well, is like we bring meaning to almost everything we do. So that's kind of the goal behind it, and just kind of showcase that a little bit and entertain people is like the number one goal, but also make them like be mindful of how they live life and what's possible out there, and kind of just show people, a bigger vision and make the world a little bit better of a place.
I love that. And it does feel like a lot of content is starting to head more in that direction. Would you agree?
Yeah. People are definitely like searching for meaning and want a little bit more meat and potatoes behind things instead of just the glitz and glamour only. So
yeah. Well, it's like the age of Instagram is kind of like dying. And that was like the age of just whatever it looked like was how it is.
Yeah.
And then everyone was like severely depressed and just unhappy. I mean, I remember I deleted mine because I was so unhappy.
A bunch of people felt like that. I felt like that personally too.
You did too?
Yeah, like I hated Instagram because it just felt so fake, after a while. You're only showing the highlight clips and everything, which it's good to share your highlights with your friends and let people see what you're up to, but at the end of the day, how many highlights do we have? You know what I mean? It's not like something where you can show every day, and then the people that are, it's those people out in LA and stuff, living glitzy, glamorous lives, taking pictures with all the other dope influencers and shit like that, and everyone's gorgeous, and now you're judging yourself on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just kind of like not a good like expectation to set for yourself in your own life, because the day-to-day of life is not always fun.
No, and it's not always pretty.
Yep.
And it's not always happy.
Yep.
And you definitely got to like figure out how to pull that out of yourself and like keep yourself in a good state of mind. But it's not, but like, I mean, even for my own self, like I go through seasons.
Yep.
You know, I'm in a very happy season right now, but like I just came from a really dark season. And so did you.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Thanks. It feels good though to get out of it when you're in those happy seasons again, but inevitably we're gonna have bad seasons again. Like, you know what I mean?
I think about that.
It's part of life. Like, there's no doubt about it. There's gonna be some sad times that happen again, and you just gotta hope it's not as bad as some of the bad times you did go through, and you learn a little bit from your past experiences so it doesn't hit that same level of glitz and gloom. But
yeah. It's like the surfer mentality. And I don't know, I thought I made this up, but like, who knows? It's probably already out there. But I was thinking about this yesterday, and it's like surfers, they swim out there, they catch a fucking awesome wave, and they ride that wave until it dies. And then they got to like grind back all the way out to the ocean. Yeah. And like, there's always that, it's just this, it's a cyclical thing that happens, and we all have to just be okay with it.
Yep.
You know, you can't get around it. There's no way you're always going to be happy. There's no way you're always going to have everything going right.
Yep. No doubt about it. And it makes life fun though too. If life was always just fun and it was good times and you never had a bad day, then the good days wouldn't feel as good as they do. You know what I mean? And when you're in a very positive place, it would just feel like this is the way it always is. So it wouldn't like have that same meaning to it. Like when you go through some really dark shit, it does make when the good times happen so much better.
Mm-hmm. And I think that for people who are listening, like if you're going through a really hard time, the fastest way out of feeling pain is to feel the pain.
Yeah.
You cannot avoid it.
Yeah.
If you avoid it, will prolong that just discomfort and the time it takes.
Yeah.
Like if you're willing to just let that shit hit you and beat you down to the floor.
It's going to fucking hurt too.
It hurts bad, but all of a sudden the skies will clear so much faster.
Yeah. That's a good piece of advice right there.
Thank you. That's literally how I just got through my breakup at the beginning of the year. And really, it wasn't even just the beginning of the year because we were still like talking until April. But when I found out he was having a baby with someone else and like found out that like I was living a lie and had no idea, I knew I had been through enough pain previously to know that the only way through it was through it.
Yeah.
And so I was alone. That was the hardest part is I was living in an Airbnb in Arizona and just didn't have my family around. I didn't have friends. I had my cousins, but I didn't get to see them that often. And that was just so difficult. I would just like sit in my bed and just like cry.
That's the worst. And it's kind of crazy that you isolated yourself because I was isolated too when I went through my hardest time too. And it's like weird that happens when you isolate yourself and then life really just throws the deck at you and you just get hit by everything. And you're like, fuck, like what am I doing? I'm not around anyone I like love and care about that can like reassure me everything's going to be okay and stuff. And you just got to fucking battle through it during those tough times.
And it's awful.
Yeah. But it makes you like so much stronger because now you're like more empowered from it. You're like, no matter what, like I battled through that by myself. Like, you know what I mean? Obviously you have help and talk to people and whatnot, but it's just like you battled through a really tough situation by yourself and came out the other side and you're shining again and you're glowing.
Yeah.
You're making the world a better place.
I agree. And it's just like when you go through stuff that's so painful, like if you ever or the next time you go through a tough situation, no matter what, it's never going to be how it was. And that darkness that you're talking about, because you just got past that and you've learned lessons from that. And same with me, like I've learned so much because I was extremely isolated when I was in Oklahoma and Dallas. And then I was actually less isolated when I went to Arizona finally. But like in that isolation, you only have yourself. Yeah. And I think it's the most beautiful and empowering thing to only have yourself because time to stand up, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Time to see if you can do this.
Yeah. Can you roll with these punches?
Yeah. And when you can, you're like, oh my God, like I can do it.
Hair flip.
Yes. It is. It's like the most empowering and like best feeling because I did not think that I could take care of myself for some reason, which is so crazy.
Now you know.
Now I know.
Now
I got a show now.
She's got her own show. Jade Simone show. Living her dream. Literally. Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited. We got a lot of big things coming up, and we're all doing cool stuff. And
we really do.
We just got to keep at it. And
when can people be excited for like the Hustlers Anonymous to...
We're working on getting a video editor right now.
Okay.
Because our current video editor is lazy. It's me. No, I just don't have the bandwidth for it right now. So, yeah, me and Cole are interviewing a bunch of different people right now. We got like 3 main candidates. So, just whittle it down, and then hopefully by the end of the year we'll be dropping 1 or 2 videos a month, and we're trying
1 to 2 videos a month.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
That's our goal, and then we're gonna spend a couple years doing that, and then hopefully level up all this business stuff we got going on, and then our goal is to hopefully be able to just travel around for a couple years and do it after that. We just had a big meeting on Wednesday. Me and Cole talked for like an hour and a half about it, and just kind of our vision for everything and what we're trying to do. So we're on the most same page we've been on since we started, and
that's great.
We got a lot of cool, funny ideas and concepts, but now we just gotta do the hard part and bring them into reality.
Yeah,
you know
implement them.
Yeah, it's easy to have ideas. It's not easy to implement things into reality.
Yeah, and actually, if you can start doing that, and I'm saying you, meaning to like the listeners, people listening, if you can learn how to just not think too much about something and just do it.
Yeah.
You will get so much further, so much faster.
Yeah.
That's what I've learning.
Like you in this podcast.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You had the idea, you wanted to do it, and you kind of just jumped on the ball and finally just said, I'm ordering these mics. I'm getting the stuff. You ordered a bunch of bad stuff at first.
Yeah.
Sound quality was terrible. Be thankful that she readjusted her strategy there. But she made the mistake and she ordered the stuff and, you know what I mean, just put herself out there and then shipped it back, got new mics. Now the audio sounding crispy.
Yeah.
And you
I'm learning as I go.
Yeah, and you've already been on like 3 different video and audio editing platforms, like trying to figure it out. So it's just trial and error, you know what I mean? And you gotta literally just put the foot to the grindstone and try things and figure out what works and what doesn't. And
because sometimes you'll find that some things that you want to do like aren't actually what you want to do. Like I wanted to start a lingerie company. I used to design lingerie, and it's actually really cool. But I tried to do a drop shipping website. That was a major flop. And then I tried to sell lingerie on Amazon, but you can't advertise it.
Oh, really?
So I just was like a little fish in a huge pond and had no way to, because you can get ranked really fast on Amazon if you can advertise, because you get, or you have sponsored keywords that you start ranking for, you know? And that was a flop. And so I was just like, I was so embarrassed because I'm like, well, now everyone's like, where the fuck is Jade's lingerie? Because I like made this whole announcement, like fucking online, like, this is what I'm doing. You're going to see me in lingerie, like blah, blah, blah. And then I just like, it was a flop.
Yeah. It's so embarrassing when you like put that shot out of the world. That same thing happened to me with the poker app where I'm moving to Vegas to like build this poker app and be a poker player. And then people are like, how's it going? And it's like, it's going terrible. I'm moving to Austin. I'm out of this bitch. Fuck this dream.
Oh my God.
I'm on to some new shit already.
Mm-hmm. But like people have to realize that that's part of the game.
Yeah.
Like Gary Vee talks about that all the time. Like you got to just try shit because some of it's going to work and some of it's not. Yeah. And it's okay. There's no shame in that.
Yeah. It's part of the game. Yeah, you just got to take chances and try things and see what sticks.
Yeah, exactly. This was a good podcast.
This was a good episode. Hopefully we're back on it. I had to dress up for this just so I do get invited back. I know Jade's all about her aesthetic, as you can see by her beautiful set we're on right now. So hopefully see me in another episode in the future. But stay tuned. Like, comment, subscribe. Tune into this girl. She's doing big things out here. You're going to see the creation just keep levitating. So big things on the way.
You'll definitely be seeing Taylor again. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Please tune in next time.
Bang, bang.
Bye.